This is the journey of finally finishing an epic and ridiculous garden. It even has a homemade smart irrigation system that I'll share all the code and schematics for. We knew from the get-go that this dinky little fence would only give deer the opportunity to flex on us before eating our food. So it's time to start building a massive, fully fenced garden instead. Step 1 was cementing in the pillars. I only get little windows of time for these projects, so you'll notice not only wardrobe changes between clips, but changes of entire seasons as time goes on. For pillars in particular, it tended to be that I'd find a short window for one a day until it was done. Thankfully, tediously shoving giant sticks into my yard is a passion of mine. The garden was approaching the early phases of usable, so I found the nearest shovel and churned all the dirt.
Perfect. All done.
We got a load of free mulch and decided to churn a whole section for flowers as well as a path, thus ensuring that eventually we'd be able to feel fancy on the way to the garden as well.
What's the next step?
Looking for worms, and I found one worm. Mommy found 0.
Now that we had a plan, it was time to put the fence posts to work and actually put up fencing. To keep animals from digging their way into the garden, I poured a layer of cement at the base of the fence and kept the fence in place with what I'm sure is very normal methodology. Speaking of very normal things to do, we found that someone was throwing away this thingy. I don't even know what to call it, but we realized it'd be perfect for the garden entryway. So, since it's not exactly something that can fit in our Honda, we just kinda walked it all the way back home. This is so in character.
I like the idea of it a lot.
Somehow, I got the honor and privilege of churning more dirt. This is hard work, so I resorted to sorcery. This worked like a charm, because it was a charm. Unfortunately, there was a round 2.
A lot of households remove the poop from the yard. We go out of our way to get it.
My wife had picked up a crap ton of horse poop to ensure that I'd never go into the garden ever once I finished building it. Can you believe someone was just giving away turds for free? Pretty crazy. Turns out, turning a bunch of horse crap requires greater magic than I possess, so I had to do that all by hand. And that's why, if my Christmas gift isn't amazing this year, I'm gonna go live in the mountains where no one makes me do anything with poop.
What are you doing? You're in a poop minefield.
This is when I learned a fun new term called chaos gardening.
This place Daddy just dug up. Look at that, they're planted. Yeah, go ahead. Perfect. Is that good stuff?
Parasaur.
This dirt wasn't dirty enough, so I was voluntold to pick up this massive pile that someone didn't want.
So I went and got some dirt. And I shoveled it into this truck, random truck that I found. And then when the guy came out, I said, "Hey, your truck's full of dirt. I could use it if you want to just drive it to my house. I'll help you get it out."
Glove.
Babies. Is there no babies in this truck?
Thankfully, that dirt was dirty enough, so it was finally time to get back to building. The garden was going to need a couple of doors, so I went ahead and put together the first one. I used some random chicken wire pieces, as well as boards left over from the garden itself, and attached things to other things until it looked door-like.
Door.
After adding all the finishing touches that made it actually usable, I put it in place and installed the pillar for it.
Just what is life, man? Both sides had the top come off. Alright, so long as the camera's rolling, things don't explode, so there you go. Yay. Oh, Minky. And apparently I never got any more footage of this anyway, but I flipped the latch and I filled the bottom of this part with gravel so that animals can't just slide their way in like they slide their way into my DMs. I don't know. I don't have a joke there.
By this point, the garden was producing all kinds of goodies. But this means we had to protect the food from annoying bugs like aphids, and I was obligated to continue accomplishing tasks in the weirdest way possible. So I grabbed some wood pieces from an upcoming project that I think will be quite cool, and got to work building a ladybug house.
We'll figure out the whole design. Ready?
There were some creative differences with the design.
Should that be part of the roof? It could be if you want.
So I'm having this be the door.
Ladybug door.
Oh.
So we decided to each make our own. As it so happens, I had just harvested some bamboo for another project, and bamboo pieces make good little ladybug houses. We assembled their estate, and now that they had a place to live, we ordered thousands of live ladybugs.
Oh!
Oh yeah. Good work. I think that's looking really good. If I were a ladybug, I'd live here for sure. All right. How many ladybugs are in here?
1,500.
This is what it looks like to free 1,500 ladybugs. Ish. Hey ladybugs. Be our friends. Oh, it's like, it actually seems good. They're like crawling out onto it. It feels like we're on HGTV.
We like ladybugs. They're friends.
Yep. And hopefully they get to their house quick because it's about to start storming. They picked a terrible day to arrive. All right, shall we go inside? All right, we're gonna let the bugs go to their new house. Bye bye bugs, have fun at your new house.
You wanna hug them?
I knew I had to improve the aesthetics or the ladybugs would leave out of principle, so I prepped a space for the eventual doorway and got to work fixing whatever the heck this entryway piece is. Once it was nice and leveled out, it fit the space really well. Then I went in the backyard and got what they call the frugal man's sand, aka ashes, from the fire pit and leveled out a nice row of bricks at the base.
Yeah, good job putting it at the side. Hey, this is not your garden. This is people food. You go eat the lawn.
Rillaboom.
Thank you, Rillaboom. Yeah, so far so good?
Yeah. I got it.
Thanks for your help.
That was looking good, so it was time to move on. In order to know what wood would be left over for building the door, it was time to get back to putting up the fencing and the fencing boards. I am working with a lot of random leftovers and a lot of problems, but I make it work. Like here, the cement bucket has a hole, so it's just spraying more or less where it needs to go. Winning.
The garden is starting to look pretty good. So the top part's pretty nice. Some of the bottom stuff I'd use is not as nice, but then it gets covered and it looks pretty good, as you'll see now.
The middle boards connect to the fencing to keep it from being all loose, but it also covers up the weird gaps, so it not only looks way nicer with the boards, but makes the fence more functional.
So the goal here is going to be to bury all the PVC such that it can flow from the rain barrel, which I'm realizing I need to also set up. So I still need to set up the rain barrel because it's illegal to just be done with a project. But the goal is to have a set of PVC going underground such that we can use the rain barrel or the spigot to water the garden. And I want to keep it underground so that it looks better and is not a tripping hazard and all that stuff. So it's time to dig. Bloop. There's one thing that is not on my bingo card today. It is shovel through a power cable. That would be a bad time.
As much as I really want to wrap this project up, it is nice for my sanity to see it becoming cool even before it's done. Like how these vines look going across the archway.
An enchanted world.
No, you mean the enchanted plant world.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's neat.
It'll be even taller than me.
This thing is wild. And do you want to know why that's there? Because sometimes animals like to dig under stuff to get to the garden. And how are you going to dig through cement? It's too hard. And that's why we have it. Oh, yay. A ladybug's girding her keys. Good job, ladybug. They found their buffet. This is what 3,000 ladybugs does for a place.
As always, I have to do something fancy to go above and beyond with the project, so it's time to do nerd stuff. Alright. First test. Nice. Blues is already working. What we're putting together here enhances the irrigation system. This will attach to the rain barrel and make it an automated system that fetches the weather and intelligently decides when to water accordingly. So I just spent forever debugging this because look at all these visual changes that happen when the valve opens. Nothing, you don't see anything. So now it's time to play with electronics and water at the same time, because that's always a good idea.
All right. So the test should just open and close this, and that's it. Simple program.
Spoilers, this valve just doesn't work. So I'm ordering a different one that will actually cooperate so I can get back to doing other stuff.
I'm not convinced that it's doing anything good.
That means scouting for pieces of wood for the main garden door and actually putting it together. The idea for this one is pretty similar to last time, with it being made of light wood and excess chicken wire, but this time I wanted to get slightly fancier by making it match the archway. And since it's a much wider doorway, it'll be double doors.
Boop. Plot twist. This was here all along. And hold that 1 second, will you?
To keep the doors together while also making it convenient to get in and out of the garden, I'm using a powerful magnet on one side and a metal piece on the other.
So, as you may have deduced from me digging over here, I am going to have to level this whole area. And I'm not very excited about it, but here we go. Oh yeah. Now we're gonna have a closing door. Nice work.
Meanwhile, I'd also made progress on the last piece of the puzzle.
Now to prove that this thing actually works.
Now it correctly opens the valve if it determines we should water and closes the valve after a set period of time.
Success.
And now let's prove that Blues is working. There you go. Now you can sort of see over here. As one might expect, Wi-Fi is more than a little spotty in the yard, and we don't want the garden to not get watered as a result. So I'm using Blues Wireless to fetch the data anytime Wi-Fi fails, which is realistically going to be most times based on where the electronics are going to be positioned.
So let's do a quick test before we actually put this thing outside, which means I could show off a cool feature for you, the person behind the camera. So I made a little app to control this thing in case we want it opened or closed at different times than it does automatically. Cause boop. Behold. Yeah. Well, nice. A little snazzy.
That's really cool.
I think it's ready for production. So I'm gonna put my waterproof container on the underside of the cinder block on the other side to keep things all nice and safe from the weather.
And you may think that because the electronics are all working and the garden's basically built that we're close to done, and boy does that make you a dummy because it's time to board the struggle bus. The gist is I'm using random PVC pieces I already have, but half turned out to be something called CPVC, and the two don't fit together at all. I realized though that the saga was as uninteresting as it was painful, so we're just going to move on to the final touches of the project.
So it may look like I'm building a lightsaber now, but it turns out that this is the one thing I found that actually fits to those stupid pipes. So if you want to ruin my day, just go ahead and link me the part that I should have gotten instead of having to assemble this mess.
After fully setting up the irrigation, I realized I needed to make a bit of a detour for the ideal setup.
So the new plan is the hose part of this is going to come around and turn so that we can have this pipe go upward. So we just have easy access to the hose, and then we can just use the rain barrel separately. That'll be a lot more convenient for things we want to actively spray, and it'll keep this thing out of the way. Alright.
This part is not for anyone with commitment issues. It was time to fully glue in all the irrigation and bury it underground. I put a larger PVC tube around the smaller one in the area that would be most walked on, just to be safe. Before going too much further, I confirmed that the tubing wasn't going to be in the way of the doors.
Oh yay, it's good. Yay, it's good, it's happy. Yay!
Once everything was good to go, I covered up the evidence. But, oh no, we'll need something that fits the space above the irrigation that isn't quite as thick as bricks. If only we had made a cute custom cement dealie in advance. We had randomly ended up with one of these a while ago and decided this is going to be the perfect use for it. After laying down the last bit of mulch, it was finally time to call the project done. Of course, it's now October, so the garden is fully irrigated just in time to grow like a potato, but hey, it'll be ready for next spring, and it is still producing a bit. All that's left to do now is to show off the finished product to the wifey. This will be her happy place, and she'll grow Carolina Reapers and make really good salsa out of them, so it'll be all worth the effort in the end. Hope you enjoyed, and hey, if you liked the video, like the video. There will be more large-scale projects like this, so look forward to those, and I'll catch you on the next one.